Have you ever gone to a new place and just felt completely unwelcome? Maybe it was a social event or a family gathering at the in-laws. Either way, my guess is that you probably didn't want to go back. That's what it's like for many newcomers in a Web3 community, and in particular, NFT projects. So today, we're going to discuss an onboarding call that was such a wonderful experience that as soon as the call ended, I ended up buying 3 more of these NFTs. And the funny thing is, I was actually in this community for over a year already. And also, I'll share how you can possibly get one for free. Hello, I'm Taj, digitally known as Tropic Vibes, the host of Nifty Business, where we highlight NFTs and explore Web 3.0 as we move from pure speculation to creating real-world value. Customer churn is one of the biggest problems that any business has. However, it's something that is typically measured by marketers within a subscription business. So for example, software as a service or a SaaS business, where you're paying monthly to have access to a particular software suite, such as Adobe or Canva or your email suite, maybe your funnel builder or your website builder, or even in the non-tech world, something like a gym membership also has churn because people join and leave. It's a key marketing number to keep track of. And one way to reduce this is the onboarding process. Usually the better the onboarding, the longer someone stays. So in software as a service, they typically have something like an onboarding call, whether it is Zoom or whatever software it is. They meet face-to-face, train you about the things, tell you about the features and so forth. Or if it is a team project, let's say it's a corporate thing, they'll train out the whole team, ask them if they have any questions, onboard them, demo things for them, and make the transition to the new software as easy as possible and have the team as excited about using it as they possibly can. That way, the company will actually stay with them. Especially if there's some features that might be hidden deep into the control panel that a lot of people might not even know exist. This is one way to really highlight the things that shine. But even if you buy one of those online courses, usually for $9.97 or whatever it might be, they might have a Zoom call where they tell you about everything, all the expectations, what's demanded of you, what you're going to get, and so forth. If you have any questions, if you started the work, and there's a Q&A session. You can also interact with the community. There's different things like that. But going back to the non-tech example of a gym, sometimes when you join a new gym, they'll let you go into some classes. They'll give you a tour, show you how all the equipment works. They'll show you the staff and everything. So get you really familiar with the gym and make you want to come back and enjoy the place and not cancel your subscription shortly after the New Year's. But many times when someone comes into an NFT project, it's sort of like all the money and all the attention, all the energy, all the hype was into getting that mint or getting that purchase. And then once the person's in there, it's like they're off to figure out things on their own. Many times there is no direction, there is no sort of onboarding process or what have you. And that's kind of crazy because customer acquisition is very costly. It takes a lot of energy. In the case of NFTs, we're talking about spaces, you're interacting with people, you're doing all these partnerships, and you're doing giveaways and all these different things. So it's costly, it adds up. And also, you're at the mercy of a lot of outside factors, such as the economy or the market conditions, the cost of ads, if this is something that you can advertise to. So if you're running Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and so forth, the cost of those things can go up and fluctuate with demand. And it is really difficult to gauge that because that is at the mercy of the market. Whatever is happening right there, especially during political seasons, it is very hard to run ads because all the politicians are buying up all the ad spots. So businesses find that ads are very expensive to run during election times. Not to mention in the crypto space, there's a lot of regulations. So depending how things are promoted, what is being said, the types of promotions that are being used, and some platforms won't even allow you to do any kind of paid advertising, but then holding influencers accountable for different things and the wording that they use. Of course, that's why everyone says not financial advice and all of that. It is a headache trying to promote these things. But that's just acquisition. As far as retention now, that takes a lot of effort. However, it is a much higher ROI, or you get a much higher return on the investment than acquisition. Because acquisition, all of those factors that I said, that is just something that most people can't control. That is outside of their system, outside of their business or their NFT project or whatever it might be. And in the case of retention, that is something that can be controlled. So of course, the onboarding, like I said, but also the environment that is being fostered in there. Having happy customers usually means that they're going to spend more money with that company down the line. It also means that they're going to tell their friends about it. And word of mouth marketing is the most powerful, but it is also free. Happy customers tell their friends, and those friends become customers. If they're happy, they tell more friends, and it's just exponential growth. It spreads out, and guess what? The business doesn't have to directly pay for that. All they're doing is keeping those customers happy. The one that they already spent all that money to acquire, while retention and keeping them happy leads to the word of mouth, and that is really infinite ROI because no direct dollars were spent to promote. So going to this project now, of course, this whole thing started off with an onboarding call that I had. Now, this is Crypto Tech Women. This is a project that I minted. I've been in this project for over a year. However, they have a new community manager by the name of Yara, and she came in and she's doing 15-minute onboarding calls. And I found that out a couple days ago when I was in the space with them, the whole metaverse space, which I did an episode about. But after hearing that, of course, I had to sign up for the thing. Right away, I clicked onboarding and I told them upfront and said, look, I've actually been a holder from day one. I minted, but I would love to take your offer and do this onboarding call because this is something that I have never seen before. So, of course, I go and I meet with her. It was a face-to-face meeting. We do this, I think it was Google Meets or Zoom or one of them. But anyways, I go on her calendar, whatever. We go face-to-face and speak. And the cool thing about this is we're able to see that our goals are aligned. Of course, I already knew that, but as far as them being able to put a picture to the name Tropic Vibes, other than the fact that my PFP is up there, it's pretty static, but an actual real life person seeing, okay, this is a human being, and just interacting, going back and forth, speaking about the things I love about the project, and also my skill set, my interest, why I'm interested in their project, why I still speak favorably about it, regardless of what's happening in the market and so forth. But also, I was able to learn things about the project that I never knew. The example that I gave with the software as a service, things being hidden in the dashboard and amazing features that people just might not even click into that particular menu and not know about, well, that's basically what happened with me in Crypto Tech Women. They're doing some amazing things that I never knew about. I'm in the Discord, not every day, but every now and then I go in there, try to keep up to date with things, figure out what's going on, and I missed a lot of what's going on. I'm on their newsletter, I'm constantly in their spaces, and guess what? I still miss different things. So I was so excited to hear some of the things that are coming down the pipeline as far as what they're doing with the educational platform, how they're possibly turning that into some software opportunities, how they're then going to build this out, make this much more sustainable, how they're trying to educate in different countries and around the world and so forth. Of course, all the workshops that Gigi is doing, and she's traveling and doing all of these NFT LAs, Paris, and just hearing all of that in a very condensed conversation, but not that there was like a bragging conversation, because this was back and forth. I was asking questions and it just led that way. And it's like, wow, this is really interesting. And this is a project that I follow, and I wouldn't have necessarily had that if it wasn't for a one-on-one conversation going back and forth. Because yeah, I've been in spaces with them, but when you're in a space with 100 people, time is limited. And of course, that specific space might have a topic such as the metaverse, and asking certain things like setting up workshops and what have you and satellite training sessions just doesn't really fit into that particular conversation. So it's something that we wouldn't be able to have without this separate meeting. So I thought it was very beneficial. And I thought this was very unique because no project I've ever been in actually did something like this. They might have, a Q&A session and what have you, spaces or in a Discord, but an actual one-on-one schedule a time and meet with the holders, that really blew my mind. And the only time I've ever participated in something like this was when I signed up for this software. It's a startup company. They're still trying to figure out their companies. And this was a video software. It helped you communicate with your customers. And when I signed up for that, they had an onboarding call. And again, just out of curiosity, I signed up for it. Just wanted to test it out. And sure enough, I went, met with the team and everything. It was really cool. But this is something that I thought I already knew about. This wasn't something I wasn't trying out that was new. And still, I was blown away because I learned certain things that I never knew. With that said, I ended up signing up for upcoming trainings. And like I said, despite already having 3, I ended up going on the market, picking up 3 more. And I'm planning to use them for giveaways. I don't know if I'm going to give away all of them, but at least one that you could possibly get your hands on. So I missed an announcement that just went over my head that we actually hit 50 issues of the Nifty Business Week newsletter. There was a slight pause for a few weeks during the holidays and while everything was being transitioned over to this new email platform. However, it has definitely been going for over a year now, and I thought that was a worthy thing to celebrate. And in doing so, I'm going to be giving away a Crypto Tech Women. I've done this before when I was having a feedback poll, but this time it's going to be much easier. You don't have to give me any feedback or anything of that nature. If this is something that you're interested in, Crypto Tech Women, of the platform that they're building out, how they're spreading education and awareness, not just to women, but also to people around the world that might not have easy access to Silicon Valley and the whole tech world. If that is something that you really vibe with and you would like one for free, there's going to be an opportunity that I'm going to announce through the newsletter as to how I'm going to give that away. So you can sign up for the newsletter absolutely free. It's at niftybusinessweek.com. That information, of course, is going to be in the show notes. Normally, when I do these podcast episodes, it's a little bit longer form. Typically cover one topic per episode, but in the newsletter, I cover a lot of ground, and usually it is a 2 to 3 minute read tops. I try to keep it short, and I do my absolute best to save you some time as we navigate this space. But as usual, I want to thank you for taking time to listen to this as we're learning and building Web3 together. So until next time, later. The Nifty Business Arrow is not investment advice. It provides insights and information within the space. As with anything, please do your own research before making a decision whether you're making an investment or a purchase.